Welcome to another HODGSON episode, and today we're doing the offer of the Secret Garden, aka... No, don't use red, it's taboo. It's Frances Eliza... What is it? Okay, there we go. HODGSON BURNETT. Alright, let's get this started with, and yes, this is a photo of her and her, I'm guessing mid-20s, 30s? So, yeah, let's get this started with. Alright, Mrs. HODGSON BURNETT, well, I'm just gonna call her HODGSON right now because she's still unmarried, was born on November 24th of 1849, and was the third child out of 5 children, and she was born in Manchester, England. Manchester, England. Of course, it doesn't look like this back then, and everything started going out great. And then her dad died, so her mom went ahead and took care of the family business, which included a bookshop. And that happened, and her grandma just decided to just give Frances, some books, and she fell in love with books right away. In fact, she started scribbling some stories down in some notebooks after she read all those stories, of course. And then, of course, she wrote some short stories in these notebooks, and we haven't been able to find them since. Then later, at the age of 15, Frances's mom was promised that the whole family can move to the United States of America and be provided by their uncle for a while until they can get a job. And then when they moved there, however, the American Civil War started, so the uncle's grocery business kind of fell apart. It failed. Hiya! And so they basically lived in poverty, as in poverty like these guys, but more or less like somewhere living in the cross between this and minimum wage, the house you can buy for minimum wage, those kind of things. And Frances Eliza HODGSON BURNETT was used to the gardens and everywhere because she grew up in the gardens. She grew up in a great big house. She was not used to this, and she hated it. And to forget that this poverty even existed, to forget that even this poverty existed, she started writing non-stop. And so for exactly 5 years, she just went ahead, wrote non-stop. Of course, the first place they moved to is Nashville. This is modern-day Knoxville. This is the modern-day... Which color should... Yeah. This is the modern-day representation of Knoxville in the United States of America. Oh, yeah, it's also in Tennessee. So that should work out too. And afterwards, they just moved to this place, which is called Noah's Ark, because apparently this thing looks like the boat that Noah used to save a bunch of animals and another human. Then, in 1870, her mom died, and so now, well, she was the woman in the house, because apparently she was the oldest. All her brothers and sisters have already married, so she was able to live independently now. she is over 18 years old, and so she goes ahead and tries to do things as great as possible. And first of all, she just goes ahead and creates something in writing. Of course, now she's around 19 years old. And she finally got a short story published in this book called Cody's Lady's Book, which is like a monthly installment of women's short stories, books and stories written by submitted to this monthly installments of magazines. And then since then, she's been able to publish in other books too regularly, and she had a pretty good income. After that pretty good income started rolling in, she got an extended stay to England because, as I've already mentioned, she got a higher paying income, and that all happened in 1872. And with that, she was able to do things, and she went and visited Paris, and there she met her lifetime old friend, this guy named Swan. I'm not even joking, his name is Swan Burnett. And they met in Paris, and they decided, and they were engaged in 1872, and a few months afterwards, before HODGSON's wedding dress would arrive, he was like, we should marry now. No, I want the dress when we marry. I don't care about that darn dress, I only need you. And she's like, but I want the dress. Yeah, I don't care. I only need you. And that happens. Well, would you rather not wear a suit? Of course I'll wear the suit. I want that dress. Don't care. You better go to the wedding now. And they're like, yeah. And of course, she kind of hated him for that. And this kind of foreshadows things. And within a year, they had their first child. And then, like, if I did the math correct, 26 years later, or was it 25 years later, to like some time in between then, from like 25 to 26 years later, they basically went ahead and had a divorce. And of course, with that, they just weren't married anymore. And then Hodgson, however, she remarried, and she started writing stories. While she was married to this guy, though, she wrote the book that propelled her to fame, Little Lord Fauntleroy, which was actually published in 1880. And this is actually the scene that sent her into extreme success. Afterwards, she wrote another successful book. It was called A Little Princess. It's about this princess who does not realize she's a princess till the end. And finally, one of her most famous books of all time, she wrote The Secret Garden, and apparently this is the graphic novel version, adapted by Marian Martin, illustrated by Hannah Lucien, and this is basically based on the one written by Frances ELIZA Hodgson Burnett. So this works out fine, and you basically find a lot about her life too. Little Lord Fauntleroy, all these 3 books actually are the ones that go ahead and show who she really is. If you read these books carefully, you realize they're for children, and for good reason too. She's had a nice life, and she wrote even more novels, and she's been able to live independently on income too, on writing income now. Of course, she's still married, she still has lovers, and she just goes ahead and does all that. I guess her secret garden is just a place to write, and to be honest, I think that this person is kind of based on Frances ELIZA Hodgson Burnett, to be honest. Well, no spoilers, but hey, I think so too, because she finds the secret healing garden, and she finds the secret forgetting writing garden. And to be honest, that kind of makes sense, doesn't it? So so that's about it. If there is something new you learned today, then please tell me in the comments below. If there is something I'm missing, then please tell me later. One more additional note, she died on October 29th of 1924 in New York City. So yeah. So hopefully you guys actually did enjoy this episode. I really hope you guys did. And so until next time, Shannon out. Peace. Bye-bye. Wear a helmet.